This is the Carty Method Podcast.
Hello. Welcome to Portfolio Lab. It is Thursday. We are looking at your photographs, and not just any photographs. I'm looking at a very specific assignment that I gave you last week. I'm Carty, by the way, if you've never seen me before. Welcome to Portfolio Lab. Portfolio Lab is a structured growth path where I'm building these weekly assignments for you, which helps you create a disciplined approach to portfolio development, which is going to help you build a cohesive body of work, a body of work that showcases your unique style and your unique technical ability. Now, Portfolio Lab isn't just a solitary practice. You're going to be a part of this dynamic community where photographers exchange their ideas, they give constructive feedback, and they motivate one another to push creative boundaries. Portfolio Lab is a supportive, collaborative environment that you're not going to find anywhere else, and I'm so happy to be the one that invented this, and I'm bringing this to you. I do pro-level assignments every Thursday, and it's week 6. And during week 6, we are talking intelligent imitation. And that's intelligent imitation within your niche. If you're trying to get work within a specific type of photography, if you're trying to be a car photographer, an editorial photographer, a magazine photographer, if you're trying to shoot weddings, if you're trying to shoot lifestyle, if you're trying to shoot products, fashion products, accessories, you need to know what the photographers that are making a living within that space are doing, the work that they're making. So I gave you an assignment last week, and I'm about to look at it today, and that assignment is called Intelligent Imitation. Our goal with intelligent imitation is not about copying or replication. What we're trying to do is harness the art of intelligent imitation and the art of intent, not taking pictures, but making pictures, coming up with an idea and executing it. When you study and emulate the techniques of the masters, what ends up happening is you discover the depths of creativity and innovation that happened before you that got work. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. The wheel was invented in the Stone Age. What we're trying to do is make photography that works, especially if you're new. You don't know what photography works yet. You just know how to operate your camera and point it at things. So I'm trying to help you execute ideas and looking at masters, people who have come before you, and execute their ideas. All right, so this is the brief. What I wanted you to do is find an image from one of your top 10 photographers and imitate the image with your own style. And the goal is for you to look for an image that's going to push your boundaries, an image that you might feel is beyond your level of skill. And the idea here is it's not a copy exercise. I'm going to look to see if you translated your style, inserted your own nuance, developed a deep understanding of the concept behind the image that you chose. And of course, I want you to paste a web link to the original photo in your description. We're not trying to look at a ton of photos and I'm doing something like this. It's like, no, show me the one photo that you're imitating. The key to success in this assignment lies in understanding not just how to recreate an image, but how to translate its essence through your own creative vision. This is what we're trying to do here. So, welcome to Portfolio Lab. This starts with Monica Petrovsky. Monica P. Monica says, Tyler and Adonis. This portrait was inspired by Annie Leibovitz. I was inspired by her high contrast portraits, black and white portraits of men. So we're going to start by looking at Monica's reference photo. And this is Monica's reference photo. William Wegman, who is a dog photographer with his dog friend, and model Man Ray. Man Ray is, of course, a very famous photographer. I love the fact that William Wegman named his dog Man Ray. This is Monica P's reference, and let's see what Monica P delivered. And by the way, what Monica P said, her challenges were lots of wiggling, lots of furry lint to retouch, shot with the R6 Mark II, 50mm 1.8, ISO 200, f8 at 1/200th of a second, with the newer 400 watt strobe and an 8200 background strobe. Let's look at Monica P. Let's get it on, Monica. Monica, I think you did a fantastic job. I think you did a fantastic job looking at your reference photo and looking at the photo that you made. I like it a lot. I mean, where your rear light is placed, you're seeing we're getting like straight line here, which I'm not sure what type of light that you said that you were using a Godox AD. Just watch your closeness, because we can be a little bit gentler with this transition in here. It looks very hard. I'm hoping to get more of a gradual transition like you have up here. For me, I'm on this, Monica. I think that you did a fantastic job. I think you did a fantastic job. I think you picked the right reference, for sure. I think you picked the right reference, and I think you made an excellent picture. Let's look at this as a cover. 100% cover of Carte Method magazine. And also let's show that Monica is listening. Let's look at this as an 8x10. When you see this picture as an 8x10, you can see how well this crops down to what it's going to look like on Instagram. Monica, I'm impressed. I want to see this closer just to make sure that you nailed the focus. And looking at this close, it's tight. The focus is good. The exposure's good. You just got to watch the exposure up here in the forehead. Make sure that you're not going too far. It looks to me like your light aim is hitting here more so than it's hitting here. This, again, this guy has a bit of a high forehead, so just make sure that you're lighting here, not so much up here, but all in all, Monica, I think that you killed this. Honestly, I think that you did exceptionally well. This is an absolute yes for me. This is an 11 for me, and you did very well. You should be very proud. Great shot. Great shot. Great job. Let's get it on. Well done, Monica P. Okay, good start. Very good start. Very good reference. Very good reference. She referenced a good photographer. Now, let's look at Francis Jeffrey. Now, Francis Jeffrey says, this is an impersonation of Peter McKinnon. What? Peter McKinnon is not a photographer. Peter McKinnon is a YouTuber, okay? He's a YouTuber that uses photography as his niche. Peter McKinnon is not a master photographer. He's not a photographer, but that's been shooting for, and also not a photographer that we know as a photographer who's a working photographer. So pick better references. And then I see that the picture is a cityscape with a bridge. Okay, a cityscape with a bridge. So would you agree that this is not executing an idea? This is taking a picture of what you see? Oh, creative. He's shooting it through a window. And then when I read the comments, I said, from 5 years ago, lovely. I've seen Peter McKinnon take this shot too. So basically, this is a shot that it's a bridge that people shoot over and over and over and over again. It is a taken picture. I saw it. I was there. I took a photo. So it doesn't matter how creative that you're trying to be, it's still taking a photo. So not the right reference, and you're using Reddit as your reference, not Behance, not Vogue magazine, not working photography. Monica grabbed Annie Leibovitz. Great reference. You're grabbing not even a Peter McKinnon picture, but a picture that Peter McKinnon has also taken. Because I can see that this is not Peter McKinnon's account. This is, I took a picture. Like this, anyways. Okay, I'm gonna look at your work, but Francis, this is not the right reference. And I'm trying to use this to help you, because if you're not looking at the right references, you're not looking at photographers who are making photos. You're looking at photographers that are taking photos. And I need you to understand the difference. If it's something that you see and you're pointing your camera, that's taking a photo. If it's in the studio or an idea, you're working with a subject, you're directing them, like that's taking a photo. I mean, making a photo. If you're in the studio, if you're lighting, you're bringing something to the table beyond I was there. Like That's what we're trying to do. No one's going to pay you to take pictures of bridges. I promise you. So let's look at your image. This is Francis Jeffrey. Francis, thank you for submitting. Francis, this is not it. This is not it. This is taking pictures of what you see. And again, we all see bridges, we all see trees, but where's your subject? Where's your subject? Where is your, like, what are you trying to say other than I can operate a camera? I'm not going to get into the composition. I'm not going to get into all the things that are wrong with this photo, because I want you to watch what other people are doing. And then I'm going to say something else. You posted this picture in community. 3 people jumped in and said, "Oh my God, Francis, no, please don't do this. This isn't making a picture. This is taking a picture." My community jumped in and was like, "Please no." And the hard thing is that then I went in and I said, "Please no, Francis, please no. No, please no. Please do not use this as a reference. Please no." And then here's the photo that you used. It's like you just ignored everything that my people said, everything that I said, and now here we are on the show looking at the photo. So, this does not cut the mustard. If you are trying to be a professional photographer, this is not going to make you money. You have to stop taking pictures and learn how to make pictures. And this is what I do here, is I try to teach people how to make that transition. And I just released phase 0 and phase 1 and phase 2. The Carty method are phases. And in order to get to phase 1, you need to know phase 0. In order to get to phase 2, you need to know phase 0 and phase 1. And it goes all the way to phase 6. Each one of them stacks on each other. So if you go to the Carty method and click courses, you'll now see my self-made, self-paced courses. And it starts with phase 0, setting your stage, clarity. And Francis, you need clarity. You need clarity on what it is that you're trying to do. So phase 0 sets your stage. Once you get that clarity, you can move into phase 1, which is your work in your market. Great photographers don't take pictures, they make pictures. Learn how to create great work that has value. I'm sorry to be so blunt, but there's no value in this photo. It's not for anyone except for you. And I want you to notice the difference between this picture. This picture has value. It has value for the subject in there. And it's a photo that Monica can use to shoot other men with their dogs. So there's a reason for this picture. It's a beautiful photo. It can go in her portfolio, and she can use it as a lever to get more work. This, sadly, is not that. And intelligent imitation is based on starting with the right person to imitate. And as you'll see, if you read my chat right now, Peter McKinnon is not the one to imitate. He's a magician. All right, not a photographer. All right, on to the next. So phase 1, after phase 1, phase 2, and right now, phase 2 is the packaging. And packaging, without understanding how to package your work, without understanding how to package your personal brand, your personal style, like your website doesn't look like this, which is industry standard. This is my website, right? And then I'm going to show you Jeff Lipsky. Let's look at Jeff Lipsky's website. Again, industry standard. Industry standard. Like this, it's how you work. And again, industry standard. You can see Jeff Lipsky, he makes pictures. He makes pictures. There's no taking pictures. And then when you want to see, well, does this work? When you make pictures instead of take pictures, well, absolutely, this works when you make pictures instead of take pictures. And then you look at my website and say, does this work when you make pictures instead of take pictures? And then you look and you say, oh yes, it actually, this is Vogue magazine. Like, yes, it actually does work when you make pictures instead of take pictures. Yes, it actually does work when you're hella niched and you know exactly what it is that you shoot. Yes, it actually does work when you make pictures instead of take pictures. Yes, it works. So, there's a method to my madness, and you can buy phase 0, phase 1, phase 2 right now. Coming soon is phase 3, which is the value business, phase 4, the systems, and phase 5, outward reach, and phase 6, integration and mastery. This is my trademarked system from taking you from not making a nickel from your photography to making $100,000 a year from your photography. And again, I'm not a gatekeeper. I am free with my information. Watch me on YouTube. This is all I talk about. So I'm here right now. All right. So Francis, you need to start at phase 0. You need to get phase 0 because it's going to shift the way that you see the photography industry. I promise you, it will shift the way that you see the photography industry. All right, let's get on to William Sedgwick. William says, greetings, everyone. For week 6, Intelligent Imitation, I received inspiration from this Ralph Lauren ad. I wanted to frame the subject within a shape and use a grid to light his face camera left. Unfortunately, it was a windy day, so I skied the light from where I was standing to be able to secure it with my foot. This is also my first attempt at an international black and white portrait inspired by the Carty method, mastering the art of black and white photography. Thanks for the challenges. P.S. I guarantee a new subject for next week's assignment. This is William Sedgwick. Shot with the Sony a7 III 85mm 1.8 ISO 200 f8 1/250th of a second with a Godox 80 Pro 2 and a 34-inch softbox. This is William Sedgwick's reference. Mr. Sedgwick, this is your reference photo. And let's look at the photograph that you brought me. William Sedgwick, let's get it on. So I see what you're trying to do. I do appreciate what you're trying to do, but you have to understand you're making a huge stretch here. Like, this is an adult man. He's got a 911 behind him. He's wearing Ralph Lauren shirt, tie, jacket, cardigan, pants, watch. It's really hard to imitate when we don't have that same really strong brand that we're pushing. Also, the black and white to color. I mean, again, find a reference that's closer. The black and white to color throws me quite a bit. I mean, compositionally, it's a different idea. And because your son is not he's not a 6'1" man, you're not able to give him the status that this man has because he's small. He's a boy. So this is like a miss when it comes to the reference to execution. Also, the flash placement. Did you see the flash like really reflecting in his face? You saw that it's really punching back in the glasses. The reason is because his glasses are here and your flash is here, and you can look and see the flash right in his eye. Like, so that means you have to sky that. And yeah, like this was, I like the fact that you went like you swung for the fences, but guess what? This is a natural light picture. So you're really missing what's happening. This is a natural light picture. This is a studio light picture outside. So what you had to do is imitate the light, the feeling, the sensibility of this photo. And here, for me, you faked the light, and the placement is not like, you could have imitated that with artificial light if you had done it differently with, you know what I mean? But the fact that the background is now getting so darker feels like the strobe is overpowering. It doesn't feel balanced. So, and also, William, it being your son again, I know you said a different subject next week, but find a picture that you can use your son for. Find a Gap Kids ad and shoot that. Do not find a picture of a 25-year-old adult white man and then shot during the day, and then take a picture of a 12-year-old black boy with dreadlocks and make it black and white. It's just that just, it's not, like, again, it's a cool picture, but the reflection makes it a dud. The light placement makes it a dud. Your eye goes here before I see the picture. So for me, William, this means swing again for the fences. Find accurate reference photos. If you're limited to, like, if I'm shooting a white male for a campaign or something like that, I'm not finding pictures of black dudes to show that guy as references, because he's like, I can't be that cool. Do you know what I mean? So I find white guy references where he is like, oh, I could be that guy. You know what I mean? Like, we can't make that bridge. And also, adult, 12-year-old. Like, these are the things that I really want you to lock into, okay? This is intelligent imitation. This wouldn't fly with an art director. I need you to take this serious, which means trying harder. Cool? That is William Sedgwick, everybody. Thanks for submitting, William. All right, let's see who else we got on our list of photographers who are attempting intelligent imitation. Who do we got? This is Ian Martin. Ian says, inspired by a few campaigns on Behance that implement colored light. I'm imagining you mean RGB. I don't have gel, so I took sub exposures for accent lighting and color graded those in post. I think it's a good start, but not quite at the level I aspire to. So let's look at your reference. Shot with the Fuji X-T5 with a 27mm ISO 125 f8 a 60th of a second with one Godox 80 Pro 600, and it's a composite. So let's look at your reference. This is Ian Martin's reference photo. And let's look at the reference. That is the reference photo. And let us have a look what Ian is doing. Let's get it on, Ian. This is a vibe, my friend. There's a vibe here. The problem is that the gelled light isn't bleeding enough onto the car, so it looks cut and pasty. And what's going on over here, I don't believe. This looks very posty. So this, and also Francis, notice the pictures that these people are sending me for references, and notice they're making pictures, not taking them. Okay, so this, you see, I see this, I see this, I see this, I see all the posts that you're doing here. I see it all. And I see this, the black that's blurring. I see this. I see what is going on in this area right here. Like, all of this stuff, you can't hide from me. I know how car edges look, and they don't look like that. So all the post-production that's happening in here is, no, it's not acceptable. When understand that I'm going to do this when I look at a photo. What's going on here? What's going on here? Here, here. What's going on here? What's going on under here? Under here? This is no bueno. No bueno. I see it happening here. I see it happening here, here, here. This back end is bad. Everything that's happening back here is no bueno. So it's an edge of a car. So all of this is unacceptable, retouching, unacceptable. And it's because you didn't light and shoot this properly. You cut and pasted this. And sadly, at this level, when you see it full screen, that cut and paste is so obvious. It's so obvious. Like, I can't unsee what that hood looks like. And again, the roof line. Like, you can't fake gelled color. You can't. And this is what happens when you try to fake gelled light. It just, no bueno. No way. And even if you were the best retoucher in the world, it would still look incredibly fake. Like, look at this. It's just not. And Ian, from the level of work that I expect from you and the level of work that you've been submitting, like, this just isn't it. And again, you're like, yes, I think I could do better. The way that you do better is you light the car and get the proper lights. You're trying to like multi-expose and do this like cut and paste, like hack. Like, your competition doesn't do this. Your competition doesn't do this. So I want you to see, like, there's no bleeding of any of the highlights from this orange light in any of these highlights here. That is lit by white light, which exists nowhere in this photo. So all of these highlights are lies. So our eye knows that this is a cut and paste. And also this blasting blue light that's coming this way, there's none of that blue light anywhere on the car. Nowhere. Not in the glass, like nowhere. So I know that's lies. So, and then this post here is hella distracting, coming out of the nose of the car right there. Like, I feel like you're too good to, when I challenge you to do something like this, you see the reference, and this reference, the light at least is bad. I mean, to me, even this isn't Carscape Soul. Carscape Soul. Not the best car photographer that I've seen on Behance. Sorry to say. Not the best car photographer. There's a guy, Jimmy Chin, not Jimmy Chin, but there's so many better ones than Carscape Soul. So many better ones. Creative Fields, photography. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what this guy's name is. Starts with a J. But there's so much better car photographers than that guy. And if you're using him as a reference, then that, I think, lowers your bar. Let's see what this guy does. Meh. So, yeah, I think personally, Ian, you need to find better references. Just find harder. Here's a good one. Here's a good one. Look at this guy. So, look at the lines. Like, this is, I feel like, a bit of a better reference. But again, it's shot at, it's video. That's just a video still. Yeah, again, it's tricky. It really is hard. And again, Sean doesn't have any references like what I'm trying to show you. This is closer. This is closer. But just FYI, this is what your competition is doing. And it's not composite. It's shot that way. So it doesn't feel cut and pasted. And when you check the lines, it's shot that way. And the light makes sense as to how the room is lit. So for me, this is the bar. Yeah. Heyo, thanks for subscribing. Let's get it on. Welcome. So yeah, yeah, that's the vibe. Okay, let's look at William. I hope that helps you. I feel like you could really have knocked this one out of the park, but you didn't imitate the reference really at all. You didn't really imitate the reference at all. Your reference was very, very different than this. Try to nail exactly the reference, and there can be no cut corners, because again, this was your reference and this was your photo. Car's different direction. Like, there's nothing similar about this really at all. All right. Let's get into our next shooter. This is Romeo Fowler. Romeo says, this is an imitation of one of my favorite photographers, Irving Penn. Wanted to add a model lineup for this shoot, but I had to cancel during the rain. It's been raining for 3 days. Okay. So this is Fujifilm X-T3 with a 1.4 ISO 200 f11 at 1/250th of a second. This is his reference. This is famous Irving Penn. The way that Irving Penn shot in corners, he would have his assistants build like impossible rooms. He would build his rooms. Like, you can see this room here is like this. And then the photographer, he would stand here and he would put his subjects here. So you can see how he has the walls moving convex here on the subject. And then also these lines behind. He would also do this. He would build corners like this, and he would shoot here and he would have his subjects here. So it would be a single line up here that would literally, with these same lines, which would make his photos feel incredibly claustrophobic. Irving Penn is also a master at body language. The way that he would make his hand, like his subjects' hands and his arms and their legs, like a master of body language. And there's no one like Irving Penn. So you're swinging for the fences by choosing Irving Penn as a reference. This is Romeo Fowler. Romeo. So the reference, the thing that I'm losing what the Irving Penn-ness of this photo is. Irving Penn would have had this subject on a box and not on the floor. The crossed legs, like, I feel like we're missing the pose here, and I don't know a reference of Irving Penn making an image that, like, cross-legged on the floor is not a thing that I know. A pose, like, if you, and again, you didn't show a reference, Romeo. You just said Irving Penn. Well, I can say Helmut Newton. I can say, it's like intelligent imitation. I'm not trying to get you to imitate what you think a photographer's style is. I'm trying to get you to imitate a photograph. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to ask you to do. So there is no photograph here that you're using as a reference. Garan grabbed what he thought would be the closest to this because you didn't give a reference. The exposure is a little, it's a little gray is what I'm trying to say, because I know her hair is black, but it's gray. It feels gray. The background feels gray. Her hairband feels gray. The white feels gray, and her skin tone feels gray. So there's like a contrast thing here. So I need you to increase contrast, just a touch. And also your shadows, you're using your shadow slider, and I'm guaranteeing that you're pushing your shadow slider way into the 50s. That's why her hair is rendering like this. It's too much shadow. You've increased the shadow detail into an unbelievable level. That's why I can see the deepest shadows in here, and I can also see detail back here. It's because of how you're using your shadow slider. So go easier on that. I feel the reference, the idea of intelligent imitation is into imitating an exact picture. Like that's the idea, is to intelligently imitate that photo. I feel like you just made it black and white, you know what I mean? And tried to make it feel a little period, but I feel like you missed a lot of the essence of what Irving Penn does with his photography. And the whole point of this was to capture the essence of what that photographer is shooting. And if I show you Irving Penn, and show you his images, like there's so many different ways that you could have gone. Looking at the way that he used corners, as I described, looking at the way he's using posing and light, as I described, looking at the way that he uses a table, uses light, uses angle. If you're shooting a female, poses. This is Audrey Hepburn. Tools. Like this is all things that I think of when I think Irving Penn. I think of this photo, which is this photo cropped. I think of him shooting like indigenous people from around the world. I think of his unmistakable canvas backgrounds. And I also think of how he used broken glass and mirrors to make images like this. So if Irving Penn is your reference, you have to find me the photo that you mean, that you're trying to imitate exactly. And by the way, this would have been the photo to imitate with your daughter. That would have been the photo to do it with. This picture would have been the picture to imitate exactly with your daughter. But for me, because there's no reference, notice you'll never see Irving Penn put somebody with their legs crossed on the ground. Like that's another thing that I want you to like. It's not, even when he's shooting kids, he'll get low. Like these are dwarfs. Like, so if you look at and again, I study this. I've studied this for 50 years. It feels like, well, not 50, but 40. I know, like, there's no instances of on the floor. He's going to do it differently. He's going to do it creatively. He's going to do it like this. So, Romeo, you have to try harder, honestly. And you can't just say Irving Penn and try to make a photo from your head that you think is going to say Irving Penn, because he was one of the most brilliant, most profound photographers that has ever lived. So in order to really do something in the essence of Irving Penn, honor this photographer by having a photo in front of you and then make your photo. Because for me, I know for sure you did not do that when you made this picture, or you would have never let your daughter sit on the ground like that, showing her toes. And like, yeah, it's an attempt, but for me, it's a miss. Thanks for trying. Again, a cool picture, but it's not what we're trying to do. It's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to intelligently imitate. How can you intelligently imitate if you don't have the image right in front of you? How can you do that? That means that you think that you know the work as well as I do. Even if I was doing it, I'd have the image right in front of me because I've been doing it for 35 years and I know that's what we do. In order to push yourself, you have to be looking at the photo, because sadly, your ideas are not going to be strong enough because you're not a working pro yet. All right. Hope that helps. That is Romeo Fowler, everybody. All right. I'm emphatic. And the reason I'm emphatic is because there is a method to the madness here. Intelligent imitation means intelligently imitating. Okay. So this is Denise Tuggle. Denise says, "Hey, Carty crew. My inspiration piece comes from Behance. I started following Andrea Dal Sagalo, a freelance photographer from Madrid." Okay, I don't know who this photographer is. And again, it's someone, at least you found it on Behance, but the references, you're still new to finding amazing photographers. You're still new at finding amazing photographers. At least you're looking at Behance. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so Hoffman, this is your reference from Andrea Del Sogolo. Let's look at this photographer. She only shoots watches. Okay, good for you. Good references. Good reference. Okay, first points for the reference. Good. Okay, so as a product photographer, I wanted to try my hand at photographing watches. Here's my attempt to photograph one of my Invicta watches. Nikon D850, Tamron 28-75 macro, ISO 100, f11, half a second. Shot with a newer mini LED light with Snoot, with the newer wireless studio flash. Okay, let's look at Denise Tuggle. I need to know a little bit more in how you're placing your lights. Let's look at Denise. Hello. Here we go. Denise, thanks for submitting. You're starting to learn. You're starting to get there. This is the beginning of you starting to get there. The styling. I want you to see layered pieces of broken granite, your countertop. So, this, Denise, is definitely your best picture so far. It's your best picture so far, but where we're losing right now is in the lighting and in the propping. Okay. There's no need for this. I'm going to say again, there's no need for this. And I'll also ask you, where is the flower in this photo? Where's the flower? Where's the flower? There isn't one. So why do you have one? Also, look how the watch is placed, open and laying flat on the table. How is your watch placed? Not open and laying flat on the table. It's circled in a loop. Also, I see you're including these magnet beads here. Where are the magnet beads here? Where are they? They're not there. You know why? Because they're tacky. You know why the flower's not there? Because it's also tacky, which is why I say intelligent imitation, because you're adding your elements, but those you're not breaking down what works for this photo. The thing that works is I see this strap and it matches the color here, here, and here. And it goes from top to bottom through the frame, right? That's your reference. Here, not the same. So this needs to come out. This needs to come out because it's also putting weird reflection here. You see the reflection that's going here because of these beads? So, and then I'm not sure what this is. This is just some existing lights that you have in your room. I understand what you're trying to do, but I really want you to be breaking down and trying to do exactly what you're seeing in the reference. Okay? Flat. Now let's look at other pictures from Andrea. She does have it looped up in some way, but look, it's shot like this. It's like a hero shot of the watch. So, I see, but your watch isn't set up like that either. It's not set up with the watch towards the top and the band on the bottom. It's just propped there. So Usually there's like a circle thing that you wrap the watch around, which keeps the watch with structure, but you don't have those props yet. You don't have those grip things yet in order to make shooting product photography easier. You need to watch some of Garand's sets because he's really doing this at like a high level. I think here, Denise, where we're missing is you need to truly break down what the photographer and the reference that you're making. So the reference that you showed me is this one, right? So what are the things that you can bring in? Can you get bricks or something that shows the hard edge of this versus the delicate softness of the watch? Or I mean, the watch is hardly delicate and soft, but yeah, it's really tricky. And also what I would suggest is finding the exact watch that you're shooting. And if this is an Invicta, what is Invicta doing with their advertising? So that's it's close, Denise, because I still know it's one of the better pictures that you've made, but I'm also just looking at the quality when I get in this tight, and the reason is because of the quality of light that you're using. I'm confused with how you lit it, and I need you to do me a favor and start taking pictures of what your lighting set looks like so you can share it in community so we can help you get better. You can't just say, I used this light and this light. Using it is one thing. Where did you place them? Where did you put them? It's all about placing it, right? And if you don't know how to place it or where to place it, if you show us where you're placing it, we can help you fix it. But if you don't tell us where you're placing the light, I can't help you. I mean, I can see where you're placing it, but I want you to be able to draw me exact diagrams. And also, this is two lights. So you're using LED light and strobe light. So you have one light that's going this way, that's pushing this shadow that way. But then you have another light that's coming this way, that's making this shadow. Oh no, that might still be that light. Yeah, it's so confusing for me. Yeah, that's also this. That's a shadow from this. That's what this is. And that's also pushing this. So then what's the LED light doing? And then, or is this the LED? And if that's the LED, then what's the strobe light doing? I have so many questions, but I can't just waste my whole show thinking about what you're doing with light. Just take a picture. So like, take a picture with your phone so we can see what your light looks like and then post that in community. Okay? That is Denise Tuggle, everybody. Thanks for submitting, Denise. You have to keep shooting and you have to keep trying, and also most importantly, intelligent imitation is in imitating everything, not just like, oh, they shoot watches, I'm gonna shoot a watch. It's like, that's not close enough. It's just they shot at people, I shot a person, I shot a person. It's like, no. Like, you're missing the assignment. You're missing the very essence of the assignment. And the thing, most importantly, I want you to notice from your reference is the quality, the sharpness, like the quality and the light. And look how in here, this isn't a really hard shadow. It's quite gentle. So I can actually see that this is a lip. And when we look at your picture, you can see that shadow is quite dark, right? So it's about noticing the slight nuance. And also, this isn't an expensive watch. This isn't not an expensive watch. This is a $30,000 watch or a $10,000 watch. So you can't shoot $50 watches and think they're going to read like this watch does. You need access to expensive watches because they only look less like look at this watch when you look at it up close. Right? It just looks even more quality and more precision. When we look at your watch up close, it just looks cheap. So that's the difference, is just mass produced cheap watch that you're trying to make look expensive. That's just not going to work. You need the actual product. I hope that helps, Denise. Miss Tuggo, hope that helps. I got a tickle in my throat. Oh. It's all this talking. All this talking. Here, we're going to do this. We are going to show you this. Ready to take your photography business to the next level? I've created 3 powerful tools designed to make an immediate impact on your workflow, your client outreach, and your daily habits. These resources will help you work smarter, grow faster, and feel more confident in building your career. You'll find links to all 3 under tools at thecartymethod.com. If you're struggling to find clients, my Cold Outreach Master Pack has everything that you need to land new business. It includes 18 proven email templates and a step-by-step guide for writing emails that get opened and generate real responses. If you're ready to take your client hunting strategy up a notch, this pack gives you clear, effective blueprints to start getting results. Consistency builds success. My professional photographer habit tracker is your daily accountability tracker. It helps you build the habits that matter most to running a successful photography business. Track your progress, set meaningful goals, and stay focused on what moves the needle. If you're serious about making steady progress, this tracker is a game changer. Shoots can get chaotic. Stay organized. My Ultimate Photographer's Call Sheet is your one-stop solution for planning and managing every detail of your shoots. From client communication and location info to equipment checklists and timelines, this tool helps you stay on top of it all. With my call sheet, you'll run your shoots like a seasoned pro, no matter how big or small the project. This is the call sheet that clients will remember forever. These tools are built for photographers who are serious about their craft and ready to streamline their businesses, connect with clients, and build professional habits that last. You can find them all under tools at thecartymethod.com. Let's start transforming your business today. Oh, friends, welcome back. All right, let's get into Stephen Bordeaux. Stephen says, my submission is doing 2 things: intelligently imitating and breaking barriers. The barrier I was breaking out of shooting friends, family, co-workers, and enlisting the help from someone on a photographer, model, designer Facebook group in my local area. Subject in this image isn't pro, but she does have experience, which is nice to have while I continue to improve my directing skills, which she complimented me on after our session. The photographer I decided to imitate is Chris Knight. I discovered him on a video tutorial for Adorama and saw his work as an elevated version of my current vision, as I tend to gravitate towards a more moody or emotional connection to images. I opted for eye contact as opposed to the reference image. I think it really grabs the viewer. Shot the R6 Mark II, 50mm 1.8, ISO 100, 5.6 at 1/250th of a second. This is a 1 strobe with a large softbox and grid camera right and reflector. This is the reference image. This is the reference image from Chris Knight. Reference image. And let's look at the photograph from Steve Bordeaux. Steve. So there's a couple of things that we're missing here with, again, I want you to look at the reference image. I want you to look, there's like a softness to the skin. There's a softness to the light and the wind. The wind is radically missing in this picture. Like the wind is radically missing in this picture. The wind is really everything in this photo. The styling is simple. It's just a sweater. And I'm noticing you're wrapping what looks like a scarf around her to look like it's the same tone as this cable knit sweater, what this ends up feeling is a little Return of the Jedi. I hate to be so dry, but the first thing I think of is she's now trying to go, no, again, we're not trying to copy the exact image. Anton is saying, I thought we're not supposed to copy the original image. The essence of the photo is necessary because essentially if you're not the essence of this photo is the lost look in this girl's eyes, the wind, and the beautiful Rembrandt light. Okay, now she's wearing a cable knit sweater, which makes it feel understated and modest. Okay, now I'm going to show you. This is not this feels like a costume. Okay, it's not even a scarf. Because if it was a scarf, it would just be a scarf, or it would be a scarf, a scarf. But it's ornamented in order to hide the sweater that's underneath. And because now it's ornamented in such a way, it looks like a costume. It's not being worn like a scarf. It's being worn like a costume, like a drape. So because of that, and the expression on her face, she looks scared. And the Rembrandt light, you can see the nose shadow here, which means the light is exactly here, which is too much from the side. It should be coming down here and pushing the light down here. Look here, see the light higher, nose shadow down here. So, and the wind is what actually makes this picture feel dreamy. If you look at her expression, mouth open, hopeful, she looks scared and she's pulling her mouth short. Like she's pulling, it's called pursing. Like so this is all the stuff that I'm seeing. And again, I'm helping you see the stuff that I see in this photo. And no, it's not about a direct imitation, but for me, it's not quite as I'm not sure what we're trying to imitate. The background, got it. The Rembrandt light, missed it. The feeling of this photo, missed it. Because I don't know if you showed her the photo, but she's not sure. It's like, and again, model, this is not a model. So again, when you're saying like this girl's a model hopeful, she's not a model. She's too old. Sorry to be so dry, but she's 26, 27, 28. Like models are, when they're starting, they're young and skin young and everything kind of styled right. So for me, portrait of her. And even if this was just a portrait without the reference, I would say, watch this nose shadow. The light is not placed properly. She's piercing her lips. And because she's raising her eyebrows, like she's not sure, she's doing literally this. Like this. Is this okay? Is this okay? Like she's doing this, which, that's a look of being unsure. So if you look at her face, you see she's unsure. It reads all through her eyes. It reads here and it reads in her mouth. So for those reasons, Steve, this one's a miss, okay? And again, the whole idea is we're trying to really, really break down the essence of what is working. It's like you loved this picture. You were like, yes, I love that. But what is it that you love? What is it that you love? What is it? Well, it's everything. I love everything. It's like, okay, break it down. First of all, what's she wearing? She's wearing an oversized man's sweater. Perfect. Get an oversized man's sweater. Second, what kind of a girl is she? Well, she's, I don't know, one of the less than 1% of the population, like she is a supermodel. Okay, so you have to also swap in that as well. Because when you're trying to make this girl look like this girl, it's really difficult. So, really difficult. So I'm hoping that I'm helping you, and not discouraging you. But again, you can't make non-models look like models. And if that girl thinks that she's a model, hate to be so dry, but yeah. All right, guys. So, and also, Steven, what market are you in? Like, are you in Paris, Milan, New York, like Miami, LA? Like, if you're in a market that doesn't really have fashion, like now you're trying, like, you're portrait photographer, shoot there's so much more of a realm of work in your market shooting portraits. And if you want to shoot models, don't go to that agency, because if that's a model from that agency, run away, seriously, run away. And if you're in a smaller market, that's what all their girls are going to look like. So, yeah, the military put you in Jacksonville, Florida. So go to South Beach, because the girls who were in Jacksonville, the smart ones, left and went to South Beach and got agencies on the beach, and they're working. Everyone else that's left are the ones who couldn't get agencies down there. So Jacksonville's not a market, Steve. Shoot portraits in a stylish way. But don't try to make regular people look like models, because it looks really bad sometimes. All right, this is our next one. This is Chris Foster. Chris says, also female redhead. It's not a redhead. Oh yeah, I guess it is. All right. So guys, by the way, I'm sure you're wondering how to join this whole portfolio labs thing. It's super easy. All you need to do is go to thecartymethod.com, which you can do just like this. Look, go Carty Method, thecartymethod.com, and go up here on the top where it says Portfolio Lab, right up here. Click Portfolio Lab, and this is going to bring you into my brand new Portfolio Lab. And the thing that's brilliant about this is it is the best aspects of everything I do. Number one, photo reviews 8 times a month. So you get me Tuesday, Thursday doing photo reviews. You also Thursday, which is today, we do a workshop on Thursdays. So we used to call it a meetup, but these are getting too good to be calling them meetups. They're literally workshops. And being a part of that and being able to talk to me directly in Zoom once a week, it really, really helps. So that's another huge part of it. All you need to do is go to Portfolio Lab. It's literally thecartymethod.com/Portfolio Lab and sign up. It's super easy, and it's literally the smartest thing that you could ever do. And then once you're in there, you get access to my community. And the community is where we submit. Inside here, which I'm going to show you, once you've signed up, you get access to my community. There's hundreds of people in there, which is super dope. I'm going to show you. I just have to go in through the back door here. So when you're in my community, a thing that is super dope is you see across the top here, assignments. I post these weekly assignments, and you can see right here that we're in week 7, which is portfolio considerations. And then all the past assignments that are closed. All you need to do, click an assignment, click join, and you can see I'm just showing you one of our past photo reviews, and you can see this is where everybody submits them, and then they end up getting reviewed on the show. Of course, we have lab chat where we all hang out and are sharing continually. This is a fire hose. And of course, we have the pro level assignment inspiration folder where Calligraphy shares inspirations and references for all of the assignments, so you can find something that you're like, oh my God, I want to shoot something like that. So Portfolio Lab, go to thecartymethod.com to join. Smart, smart, smart. All right, let's get into accelerator members. Let's get into accelerator members, starting with Chris Foster. Chris Foster says, why did my music stop? Why did my music stop? It stopped coming through the speakers, or it stopped? It's very weird. Let's quit that and start that again and see if it'll start. It's weird. Sometimes Epidemic Sound, and I think it's more OBS than it is Epidemic Sound. Yeah, it's no bueno, no music, no musica. So let's get into our next, which is Chris Foster. Chris says, for this week's assignment, I drew inspiration from Juan D. Garcia and Louis Vuitton sunglass campaign as he posted on Behance. Further inspired by Carty teaching us to reward ourselves for milestones accomplished, I photographed my recent gift for myself, deciding to revector my career path to pushing to become a professional photographer. It was shot in our hotel room in Japan. I aimed to capture the elegant simplicity of the glasses and camera-like and lens vibe they bring. Okay, it's too wordy. Just let me see what you're trying to do here. Okay, this is your reference photo. You said Juan Garcia shot this. Let's see what Juan Garcia shoots. Not sure about this reference. He's not a product photographer. He's kind of a people photographer who there's not enough here for you to be pulling this guy as your reference. Yes, it's from Behance. But this could be you posting your stuff on Behance. There's no price of entry to posting on Behance. But where are the tear sheets? Where is this in an ad? So what we do is we go to LV sunglasses on the internet, and then you find ads. Advertising. Yeah, please into advertising instead. My fingers are so then you find Louis V advertising, and then you look to see what Louis V sunglasses look like in magazines. Like, you see what they look like when they're in ads. So that's just somebody's picture most of the time, if not all of the time. It's on a model. All of their ads where they're doing eyewear is on a model. So, on a model, on Rihanna, on a model. So, when they're not using it on a model, it's just some super basic like this. So this is their campaigns. So you have to do more work than this photographer who you referenced, which this photographer that you referenced, Louis, doesn't do this with their sunglasses. So you grabbed someone who's not someone who's actually doing work that gets work. He's trying, just like you are. So let's see your imitation of this. This is Chris Foster. Hello. Let's get it on, Chris. Thanks for submitting. So, it's a better execution. It's, again, but I have no information here. I do not know if you're in... did you set this up? Did you light this? Or did you shoot that in the store? Like, I'm trying to So it was shot in your hotel room in Japan. So it's shot in your hotel room in Japan. So this is just like this is what the hotel room looks like, and you place it there. Got it. It needs a little bit more because whatever the dominant light is in that room, it's really taking over from this whole idea here. I would love to see if this is silver, if this is gold, and I can't see that without you putting your light in there. It all comes from the wrong reference, because now you're shooting something that's off-brand. This is off-brand, okay? And then you're doing your imitation of something that's off-brand, which is this. And then when you actually go to the Louis Vuitton, even let's go to Louis Vuitton website. Let's just look at Louis Vuitton website and see what the website looks like and see what the products look like on the website, and see how they showcase their products here. So if you're not going here and seeing how they show their glasses, then you're lost, because you're trusting someone else to tell you how these glasses should be shot. So they're Louis. Now it's like, okay, well, this is what Louis wants their glasses to be shot like, because they're showing you, it's on their website. And in fact, it's like a signature front view. And when you click any one of them, the first thing you see is the glasses, but then usually on a face. Obviously, they don't have all the glasses on a face, but they're doing these 3 views. So why wouldn't I not see this view of the glasses? Why not that view? And again, clean white, no gelled color. The reason, because we need to see the actual texture, the gold. Is it silver? Is it gold? Like the actual details in the glasses, if you're recreating some sort of a Louis ad, right? So you see, it's like you're actually off-brand far on this one, because, and again, you started with your reference, which is here, but even here, he didn't go so off-brand as to change the color tone. And also, you'll notice this whole blue gel, this whole gelled vibe is not Louis Vuitton's brand at all. They don't do it at all. So when you look at Louis and look at their branding, the blue neon kind of vibe isn't it's not their sensibility at all. So you have to see what their sensibility is, which is almost like a still life kind of creation, and create something that matches Louis' sensibility. So I appreciate the swing. You definitely used the right level of product, but you didn't rabbit hole enough. You just putting them where you stand in the hotel room, my guy, Chris. You know that that's not going to be enough, my guy. I'm sorry. Good swing, though, my guy. Thanks for submitting. Like, for me, this is as close to taking a picture as you can be. You took the sunglasses, you placed them there, and then you took a picture of them. So again, it's making a picture, but you're not lighting, you're not doing any of the things that are needed in order to take this to the level that you know that you need to go. So, yeah, this for me is not far enough, Mr. Foster. Hope that helps. Chris Foster. All right. Next is Charles Fortin. Charles says, I drew inspiration from Ian Plant, a landscape and wildlife photographer who ranks among my 10 favorites. Does he make money, this guy who shoots landscape and wildlife? Ian Plant. He excels at incorporating foreground elements to enhance the image's visual storytelling. I set out to capture an image that reflects the essence of Nicaragua's landscape and culture. After exploring the region for the great foreground and background, I found exactly what I was looking for: a plantain plantation with a volcano in the background. This is the inspiration image. Sorry, it's just loading from Ian Plant and still loading and still loading. I'm going to come back tomorrow to see if this photo loads. Okay. So this is your inspiration image. Again, I'm wondering who pays for these photos? Who pays for as beautiful and gorgeous and lovely and blah 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 as this scene is? Who pays for this? Is Ian Plant independently wealthy? So that is my question. Let's look at Mr. Charles Fortin. Charles, thanks for submitting. So Charles, I prefer your photo to his because again, there's a bit of ecology and a little bit of volcano, and it's not like tricking me with wide angle lens trickery like this is. I prefer this. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I know that you're a travel photographer. This is compositionally sound. It definitely works for me as a cover. The whole, again, I'm trying to turn you into an editorial and a lifestyle photographer, and these photos, again, however beautiful, who is going to pay you to take this when it's packaged this way? And this is something that I talked to Anton about, and Anton knows, like, for me, this photo is screaming for a portrait subject to be standing right here. It's screaming for somebody to be with a machete walking through, cutting down this banana. Like it's begging for a narrative. It's begging for some sort of a statement. Like, so then it's for an article on banana plantations in Ecuador and wherever you like. Now it's talking about ecology, and it's talking about this volcano that hasn't blown in 100 years. And if it does, like, there's so much of a story that can be added if there's a human in this photo somewhere. So that's the thing that I'm trying to add, is some sort of an editorial element to it, because sadly, pictures of pretty places that you stood and saw, it's not enough. I need a narrative. I need some sort of a something. This is a supporting picture for a part of the article, but again, portraits make the world go round. And if you want your photos on the cover of magazines, like put a picture of a person, or put a person in these kinds of photos. Humans are why we move around the world. And if you're trying to be this kind of a photographer, and you know, all the photos that I get so excited about from you, Charles, have people in them. They have people in them. They have people in them, and they're people who are doing something. Like this photo for me and this reference photo for me are both lacking. I do not care about this photo. It does nothing for me except show that the photographer thinks that he's a cool guy. That's all. It does nothing for me. It's just masturbation. Look at where I was. Look at what I saw. I make cooler pictures than you. Cool. It's just a masturbation for forums to post to other photographers to be like, oh, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. But guess what? Nobody buys. Nobody pays for this photo. It lives in social media for perpetuity. And sadly, without an editorial angle, this is the same type of a photo. It just ends up being in forums and, you know, people jerking off over the fact that, like, I was here and I took this photo. Show me the story. Tell me a story. Find the guy who maintains these fields. Find me the guy who cuts down these bananas with hatchets every day. Shoot portraits of him. Spend the day with him. And then this photo, along with those photos that you make with him, have way more relevance. But this alone, to me, if I drove by, got out of the car, saw this, took the picture, now there's two of them. You know what I mean? You need to add an element to your photos that can't be imitated. And just because I was there, I have the same photo. I hope that brings you value. That is Charles Fortin. I can't express it more. The longer you continue to point your camera at things that you see and think that that's going to equal value or commerce, like it's not. There's no value in you taking a picture of what you see. There's no value there. What there's value in is telling a story, applying, like, tell a whole story, shoot a 20-page article, write a story, interview that guy, then take that whole body of work and all of that editorial story with your words, send that to a magazine. Boom, now you have 20 pages in a magazine because you told a story. Send that single picture. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So, and then if you look at what's on the Louis Vuitton site, these are all concepts and executions. The art of gifting. And if you look at this, it's going to all be framed in such a way that are gifts, I bet, because the whole... Imagine that. That's just what I said. It's going to be framed in such a way that it's gifts. And this whole thing is going to be framed in such a way, the art of travel. It's like it's framed in such a way you want to be the one who has these Louis Vuitton bags. And it's showing you Japan, London, Paris. 3 destinations that people who have this kind of money go. Gifts for her. And it's the same thing. And again, this is back on the Louis Vuitton thing. Gifts for him. Of course, it's going to be now rejigged into like gifts for him. Valentine's Day gifts for him. And of course, kicks. Like formatted in a way that is, it's like you have to walk into the clouds to attain Louis Vuitton. Like it's putting their product and their brand in the stratosphere, meaning you have to climb up to the clouds to get Louis Vuitton as a gift. So this is what I'm talking about when you're using intelligent imitation. You can't shoot a brand based on what one photographer shot. Look at what the brand is doing and then look at what that photographer is doing and think whether that photographer is worth imitating. And sadly, with yours, Chris Foster, it wasn't. And with yours, Mr. Charles Fortin, I feel like I wanted you to show me a ski campaign, show me a snowboarding campaign, show me something that is like product based where a brand would hire you to make it. You know what I mean? It can't just be pretty photos of things that you saw. All right, this is Jennifer Grace. So, what an awesome assignment. I had so much fun. I actually tried a few different photographers and styles, but the one that I decided on was a photograph from Chris Knight, who I discovered at the library. Didn't we just hear another Chris Knight? Seriously? Is this another photographer doing Chris Knight? Oh my God, yeah. Chris Knight, Stephen Bordeaux. I've never heard of this photographer till today, and now there's 2 people who you discovered at the library. Found this portrait of a man in prayer to be quite touching. And this is an element I would really love to embrace in my photography moving forward. Again, guys, I really want you to be aiming way higher with who you're choosing as photographers. I'm talking masters, the masters, household names, not people who are like 3 years ahead of you, like not those photographers, like photographers that are 50 years ahead of you. Okay. I found this portrait of a man in prayer to be quite touching. And this is an element I'd really love to embrace in my photography moving forward. Capturing the human experience through emotional storytelling is something I'd really love to work on. Thanks for your time. Another great challenging assignment. This is Chris Knight, another photo from Chris Knight. Okay. Chris Knight is doing fucking this. He's doing Josef Karsh here. Like, this is something that you need to know. This is Chris Knight trying to do Josef Karsh. Okay. This is Chris Knight trying to do Karsh. I'm going to say again, Josef Karsh, the greatest portrait photographer that ever lived. Would you agree that Chris Knight is trying to do Karsh in this photo? Would you not agree that he's literally trying to do Karsh? So much so that it's like, I mean, it's exact that he's trying to do Karsh. So you have to go to the source. You can't use like you're doing an imitation of the imitation. You can't do the imitation of the imitation. You have to go to the source. Like you have to go to the source. So Chris Knight is literally doing Karsh. And if I look at this photographer, all he's doing is other photographers' styles. So, no, I'm not a fan of this guy. He is an imitator. That's all he is. I'm giving you this, like he's doing Rankin. He's an imitator. He just literally, this assignment that I'm giving to you, he's just doing it for specific photographers. Because how is this, and literally, this, the same photographer, and this, the same photographer, and this, the same photographer. This is him doing Peter Lindbergh. This is him doing Rankin. This is him doing Albert Watson. This is him doing Annie Leibovitz. Like this guy, Chris Knight, is an imitator. This is him imitating the famous Karsh photograph of seriously. Like this guy is literally imitating. That's all he does is imitate photographers. Chris Knight dude. So Josef Karsh, Hemingway, Chris Knight, this guy. Do you see what I'm saying here? This is all he does, it seems, is imitate other photographers. So this guy, please don't look at this guy. Look at the guys who actually that this guy is imitating. And sadly, this guy's now off my list because he's a hack. That's all he's doing is imitating other people. Stop looking at Chris Knight. This guy's off my list. Fuck. Like literally, you're going to take a Karsh photograph like exactly and not say this is an homage to Josef Karsh? I'm wondering if he shoots for Vogue or if he just put that Vogue tear sheet over top of his photos. Seriously. I'm wondering if he just grabbed that Vogue tear sheet and put it over his photos. Honestly. Like, yeah, I don't get it. Like you're making your career on just imitating other people. My hands are up, Kurt. My hands are up. My hands are up, bro. My hands are up. I don't get it. Make a whole career by imitating other people's work. A whole career from it. Amazing. All right. So, for me, that reference is, I'm like done with that guy. So Jennifer, I haven't even looked at your photo yet. And I'm so sorry that this has spun me. So please, if this is going to be your reference, stop looking at Chris Knight and start looking at Josef Karsh. Please do me the honor to look at the one who actually made these kinds of photographs, known. Look at the guy who actually made these kinds of photographs, not the one who's making the imitation of them, please. Because that's what he's doing. So we'll choose we'll pretend that that's not your reference. Let's look and see what Jennifer Grace has for us. Jennifer, thanks for submitting. So the whole idea with this kind of a photo is really tricky because she's hiding the moneymaker, which is her face. She's hiding, and the way that you're shooting her from the side, the face down is not I can't really describe it. And also the lighting is not the light behind the head like you're doing, because I can see you just tucked your light back here and then aimed it at her. That's why we're having like a little bit of a rim. These are lights that are offset, that are putting in that highlight. Like that's how it's done here. That's how it's done here. And it's also how it's done here with this Chris Knight photo. Like this is not a light behind him. This is a light offset back here. And oops, I'll just draw it for you. I'll just draw it for you. If this is your background and this is your camera position and this is your subject, and she's on the 3/4, like say that's her nose, your light has to be like here, lighting you, giving you perfect Rembrandt light on the negative side. Like if you look at the Chris Knight photo, which is shit, I lost it. If you look at this photo, the light is not from behind him. He has one light coming up here. He has one light coming in here that's lighting this part of this guy's head. So there's one light there, and then there's a second light back here, which is lighting this front of him. And then there's a third light down here that's putting that hot halo on the background. So this is a 3-light setup. One for this hair light, one for this front, and they're all hard light, meaning unmodified. Well, this back one is probably a softbox, but the front one is hard light. You can tell by the hard edge shadows. So this is on a grid from the front. And then there's another one down here, which is giving you the highlight. So your light, the way that you lit this one, is completely not that way. Like you're lighting from the front. And like the whole idea with intelligent imitation is to light how the other picture is lit. But you can't do that because her face is down. So you can't light the face, and your reference is from a photo where the face is up, where you can light the face. So in like you lost the mark here when you went to this, because now you would have seen that the light is not hitting her face the way that it's hitting his face, which you're actually shooting into the shadow in this picture. And this picture, you're lighting from the front. So the difference, this is the background, this is your subject, one light here, one light here. You here shooting into shadow, essentially with just highlights, where what you did is this is your subject. I mean, that's your background. This is your subject. Here's your camera. You put one light behind her here and aimed it at camera, right? And then you put another light right here and aimed it at her, right? So it like the light, it's so off, and you had 2 lights, but you didn't place them at all in the right spot. And you really have to break down lighting. I can see that you're lighting from the front. I can see the highlights on her nails. I can see the fact that it's relatively, like I could just see it. It's right there. Like I can see the light. I don't need to follow the shadows. I can see the shadow here from her hand. I can see the shadow under her fingers. I can tell that you have front light happening. So your light is camera position here, and then light here, and then your subject here, and then another light here aiming at camera. So yeah, your light is way too safe, and you need grids. And I'll show you what a grid is. I don't have my rear light on. Let me turn that on so you can see it. So this, turn this on. So this light back here that I'm about to turn on, watch what it does to the side of my face. This one. Watch what it does to the side of my face. So I'm turning, do you see that? That little highlight right there? And you see how it's out of the frame, but it's lighting. And now if I turn this way, you see this highlight? See that highlight? Now, what if I turn this front light off? Let's just show you this. What if I turn this front light off? You see, like, I'm rimming myself from a light that's not behind me. It's way back there. And if you see it, oops. If you see it back this way, you see it's up there, but it's on a grid, meaning if I move sideways, you no longer. So you see with the grid, it essentially, it's rimming me, but it's not creating any kind of highlight. Like it's just doing this, but you're seeing it's not flaring, right? So understanding how to place rear lights, and obviously there's no light behind me because I can't have a light behind me, right? So with your light, Jennifer, and this image, it's just really understanding, and you can't do this thing that I'm doing with my light without a grid. Like you need a grid, and just that one little highlight, you can see how it adds such a nice accent. That little, my dome light when I'm here, it adds just a nice little accent. But I also can turn it off. And if I turn it off, you see, now it's off. It's that little bit of hint. But also look at my microphone and that little bit of hint. And also look at my body. Look at the chair. Look at that little bit of like pop that happens from knowing how to place that rear light. You see the difference? And here on my negative side of my face. So now it goes light, shadow, and then highlight again. So we really have to learn how to break down the light of the pictures that we're trying to imitate, because the picture that you came with is this, and it's not it. And I hope you understand that when you're trying to light a face, the face can't be down. And also, like, you're not going to get paid money to be hiding people's faces. So you're going to need to be able to show emotion, but have the face up, because there's not going to be any of that with your photography. Like, it hides brand identity. And the brand identity, like the person's personal brand, is what you're going to be hired to shoot. So don't like fall into this thing and think that this is a lane. Oh, my niche is shooting ladies in like contemplative. It's like, don't do that vibe, Jennifer. And please find references from photographers that are way further down the line. Yeah. And again, I'll tell you, I love when you show me a photographer, I'm going to show you who they're either stealing from or who their references are, who their inspiration is. Show me a working photographer. I'll show you who they look at. 100%. I'll show you who they look at. And that guy, Chris Foster, I'm appalled. Like, I'm appalled on how many styles this guy just, like, it's like Stephen Meisel. Stephen Meisel, the worst hack ever. Like, just jacked. He would buy magazines from 50 years ago, buy 50-year-old Vogue, just steal Albert Watson, like Stephen Meisel would steal Richard Avedon. Well, Richard Avedon was still alive. Like, Stephen Meisel shot the CK1 campaign, and it's completely Richard Avedon. He's literally doing Richard Avedon to the point where you're like, oh, Richard Avedon shot for Calvin Klein. It's like, no, Stephen Meisel shot that. And it's like, asked Richard Avedon. Like, they didn't even ask me. They didn't even ask me. They just asked like Stephen Meisel to shoot in my style, and he did. You understand? That's not. There's no integrity there. Like, have an original thought. Just because you can imitate what other people do, it doesn't mean you should. You know, the thing is, it's important here in this exercise. You need to understand like what photography works. And again, so many of you have done this assignment so effectively, but at the same time, it's been the cold hard truth for a lot of you, because I say go find 10 photographers and you're showing me fucking Peter McKinnon. Like, really? Like, so yeah. And I ask people when I do these Zoom cohorts, like, who's your favorite photographer? They're like like they don't even have a favorite. They don't even have somebody who actually makes them throw up. Nick Knight, not Chris Knight, Nick Knight. Like, they don't have like photographers that are doing original thought that nobody is doing. Nick Knight, Nick Knight will make you throw up. Nick Knight, there's nobody like this guy. I've been watching Nick Knight for 35 years. I have a coffee table book that has this on the cover. It's called The Art of Fashion Photography. Like, this is what I was looking at when I was 19. This is the stuff I was looking at when I was 19. Nick Knight. So, like, yeah, again, this is the shooters that I've always looked at. Nick Knight, Rankin, like Matt or Mark Seliger. Like, you try to look at photographers that are doing work, like actual, look at that. Are you kidding me? Like, there's nobody like Nick Knight. He's bananas. And if you look at publications, like, those are his coffee table books, and covers, press, all the articles that he's been in. Like, this is Sir Nick Knight. I'm sure the Queen, or they're gonna knight this guy. He's so dope. So, Nick Knight. All right, let's see who my next shooter is. This is Anton Dudas. Anton says, intelligent imitation assignment spiced up with Coca-Cola. This one was tough. I thought getting a glass bottle of Coke would be such a challenge. Luckily, my friend Roman volunteered to model for me. We shot 300 photos. This is my first time using a homemade light deflector. My inspiration comes from Leif Jeffries and his iconic portraits of Metallica. His portraits are up close and personal, raw, with strong eye contact. Hey-yo. Let's go, Jamil. Thanks for subscribing. Lee Jeffries. Let's see what Lee Jeffries is the reference. This is Mr. Let's look at the Lee Jeffries. I know this photo. And let's see what Anton Dudas. Let's see what Anton shot with the Sony A6600 with an 18-50. 640 ISO 320 or 3.2 f at 1/60th of a second natural light. This is Anton Dudas. Anton, let's get it on. Your photo is very different than obviously the Lee Jeffries photo. But I appreciate it. I mean, obviously there's a different vibe. Like, the energy with this gentleman is much more friendly and approachable. This is much more trauma, and I mean, this guy's an artist. I'm not sure, like, Papa Hate, but I watched a video of him shooting this, making this picture. I love the quality, though. I love the quality of it. I love the fact, yes, you did make this a little bit more of your own interpretation. The quality of light, though, is so close. Anton, the quality of light between these two pictures are so close. Your picture has commercial application, which I like, and exposure, color instead of black and white. It doesn't bother me in your case because, again, I understand that you're kind of you're making a lifestyle picture, you're adding a little bit of advertising by, like, I understand this is the beginning of you starting to add commerce to your photos. So this brings me joy. This is good. This is good. This is a yes for me, Anton. And I want to just show you this as an 8x10, just so you have it in your head what this can look like as an 8x10. You can crop the hat, or you can keep it tight like that. I don't think you lose much integrity of the image. I personally would keep a little bit more of the hand, and I would crop the hat. So I would end about there. But this is a yes for me. This is a yes for me. And again, this is intelligent imitation. You use Lee Jeffries for light approach. Like, that's the thing. Like, for his light, look at the light. Oops. Look at the light. Look at the light
yes
here.
Yes or yes?
The light is spot on. The approach for the light is yes. Okay. Next, there's an eye contact thing that for me is super strong, which is working in both photos. But I like the fact that you didn't go black and white. I feel like that makes yours stronger because you shot it in color. So I actually I prefer yours. This brings me joy. This is a yes. This is a yes. Good shit. You guys with me still? Yeah, you too? You guys with me? Yes, 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 yes. It's been a good show so far. I'm enjoying looking at your interpretations of intelligent imitation. What am I hearing there? I'm liking your interpretations of intelligent imitation. I like it. It's giving me joy. All right. Hey, look at that. All I had to do was quit Safari and start it again. All right. So this is David Holmes. So yeah, I think you did good. I think you did good, Anton. This is David Holmes. So this is my student Jesse, who honors his Filipino heritage. He's an artist who loves to do cultural mashups and crossovers. So his niche is cultural editorial portraits. We'll just call it editorial portraits with strong ties to the Afro-Latin diaspora using dynamic colors. Okay, so intelligent imitation of Joel Grimes' American Cowboy series. I know this shooter. Joel Grimes' American Cowboy series. This is his reference. Let me look at some. I'm just trying to see something else here, bro. Close. So you're not gonna let me see recent work? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let me go back to your reference photo. All right. This is your reference photo. This is David Holmes. David shot with the 5D Mark III 50mm 1.8 ISO 125 5.6 at 1/200 of a second with a Godox V1 umbrella softbox camera with the grid camera left. This is David Holmes. David, let's get it on. Thanks for submitting. So I want to see again what your reference photo was. We're definitely missing the boat here with the reference photo to this. This is a studio picture. This is a location picture. So this is a black and white picture. This is a color picture. This is a grimy, crusty gray cowboy dressed in appropriate cowboy attire. This guy's attire, he's mixed between sportswear, streetwear, and traditional wear, and the hat looks like it doesn't fit him. The light is beautiful. It's a nice portrait. Although it's yellow, the color balance is quite yellow. As you can see, my skin tone and the background, I'm betting that that's a white wall, and it's looking very much like a yellow wall. So white balance, hit the eyedropper here and neutralize this. You can see even here, which is white, there's a cast in here as well. For me, this is a portrait, David, but it's not referencing that picture, not in any way. Light wise, we're not really committing to like Rembrandt here. You're noticing the nose shadow is tucking in here and this huge gap of white light that's coming down his face because his nose shadow ends right here. If you look at the reference, yes, his nose shadow is kind of, but this is a location photo with strobe. So he's lighting outside, and this bit of depth of field here and all the stuff that's happening in the background adds to this. The cowboy hat, it being substantial, makes him look boss. Here, this hat, it makes it look funny. Like this is a joke because he's wearing a hat that doesn't fit him. And I don't think that that's the intention, but he's wearing a hat that doesn't fit him. So what it looks like is like, it's like, look at this hat. I'm trying to be a tough guy with this hat that doesn't fit me. But this, it's not. And then like the colors and all that match, but like it just, I don't get the styling. For me, this is more streetwear. This is more like, this is just this guy's personal style. But he's giving you this screw face. He's giving you this like, you know what I mean? He's pulling his eyebrows in together. Like you can see here, like he's giving some sort of like, I'm not sure what's going on with the expression on his face. Is he pissed off at you? Like, is he mad at you? Did you not have permission to stand him here and take this picture? Fix the chain or whatever, that like this string out here with the cross, this ends up being hella distracting. I would just tuck that underneath, especially because it's on a string and not like, anyways, yeah, I would tuck that. For me, I don't think that this as a reference cuts it. Like this is such a stretch from what you sent me. The only thing that's similar is the crop. That's the only thing that's similar is the crop. Find me a different reference. And again, Joel Grimes, I appreciate you using him as a reference. Like, you know what I mean? But again, it's just like another educator, you know what I mean? More so than like a working shooter. Yeah. So, yeah. But, I haven't seen this guy making work recently. You know what I mean? It seems like it's all education, and I don't know, like I'm not too thrilled about the work that he's doing now. This shit all looks so bad and so dated, like literally 25-year-old work when he just discovered Photoshop. This is bad, dude. So if this is your muse, this guy who's doing all of this cut and paste bullshit, I would find another photographer than Joel Grimes. And believe me, when my work starts to look like this to you, dated, cut and pasty, please stop listening to me as well. Stop listening to me as well when my work looks like this. Sorry. Joel Grimes, he used to be a commercial photographer. Now he's an educator, and he hasn't updated his shit in fucking 20 years. That's why he thinks that this is cool in 2025. Like, look at the pants. Like, when was the last time pants like this were in fashion? Seriously. When was the last time pants like that were in fashion? This is a bad Herb Ritz knockoff. Like, Herb Ritz made this photo in 1992 or 1989. Herb Ritz made this photo. Herb Ritz, by the way. Herb Ritz, watch this, tires. And also Herb Ritz made this photo. I'll say again, Herb Ritz made this photo in like the 80s, way better. This photo right here, it made him famous. Herb Ritz made this photo. So Joel Grimes trying to, yeah, I mean, this work is the most contemporary. This work is nicer, but again, it's like, if he's not like trying to stay up in what's happening, and he's still showing this other stuff on his, like all of this other stuff on his site. He needs to do a curation. All right, my guys. So that is David. Better reference, my guy. Better references. I'm going to start nixing these references and being like, nope, don't look at that guy. Don't look at that guy. Stop looking at that guy. Stop looking at that guy. Seriously, I'm going to have to. This is Rob Wilson Jr. Rob says, I'm wondering if I might have pushed the boundaries of the assignment guidelines on this occasion. The image I started with was okay, but I felt my image needed something else to lift it. So I kept shooting through it and ended up somewhere else, and I liked it. So this is his reference photo. Bombay Sapphire Tonic Gin. This is the reference photo. Now let's look at Rob Wilson Jr. He was shot with the R6 Mark II ISO 400 f8 at a 200th of a second. This is Rob Wilson Jr. Rob, thanks for submitting. Different. Let's look at this. The thing that works for me here is the top down. It's very geometric. It's very geometric and very top down. And I like the fact that it's like these, what do you call, like these stems that are like reflecting and the refraction and all that stuff. I like this. And the fact that these lines are very straight. Okay. With yours, you're aiming up on the can, and we're seeing underneath the can. I see the smoking, like the misting and the freaking like newer misting machine. And it, for me, it's like it ends up like you lost the integrity of what was happening here. This is a beach scene. They're next to the pool. The can got knocked over. It's like, picture. This is now like, are we smoking weed here with the Bombay? Like, where's the smoke coming from? Where's the smoke coming from? And where am I? Am I in the bathroom? Am I the bar? Like, do you understand? Like, this is now starting to get all too fucking moody. It's getting too technique. It's getting too style and no substance. Like, that's what's happening here. And again, your reference photo. Had you delivered me the reference, use light in order to push some sort of refraction back like was happening here. Use water in order to get some sort of a refraction like you're getting here. For me here, like, we're losing all of that in the smoke and it just ends up looking wishy. You know, this is gray. And I'm not sure if this is a tap of some sort. Like, I don't know the way that this smoke looks like it's popping out of the can. And I'm seeing just too many swishes and too many, like, I just don't know what's going on here. And again, I know what you can shoot. I know what you can shoot, Rob Wilson Jr. Compositionally, in between the two cans, yes. But everything else here, I feel like you jumped the shark. You jumped the shark because we didn't like take the essence of what was working here. This is a next to the pool scene. I'm drinking a cocktail. My girl's drinking a cocktail. The water is reflecting the sun from the pool onto right where I am. And this is a picture that I made from there. I just got this new mister from Amazon and I'm going to go fucking crazy misting this photo and get something cool. Like, it's just like, bro, go easy on the mister. Like, here, let me go crazy on the mister here. Let me just like go crazy on the mister. Like, after a while, it's just like too much mist, bro. You know what I mean? After a while, it's just too much. And you got it right here. Like, once you have this happening, this huge like tube of mist happening there, you're like, okay, I think I went high on the mist. I think I went ham on the mist. I think I went too far on the mist. I think I went too much on the mist. So Yeah, you lost the integrity of what you were trying to do, and you said it. I went too far. And I think that it says it right here. You went too far. This is what you were trying to get, or this was your reference. And don't let the only thing that's the reference is the fact that you're shooting this Bombay Sapphire gin. It should be like imitate it. Like be as close as you can with perspective. Be as close as you can with elements. Like see what you can do. I'm not saying exactly, but see how far you can go, yeah? This is Rob Wilson Jr., everybody. Rob Wilson Jr. Thanks for submitting, my guy. Thanks for submitting. You guys still with me? Still with me? Still paying attention? Let's just see. These guys are paying attention. I wonder whether they're paying attention or if this is just the Matrix going. Am I going over your head here, people? Rob Wilson Jr., thanks for submitting. This is now Lisa Haida. We have 2 more photos. Last 2 of the day, people. Or are there 3? Nope, last 2 of the day. This is Liza. Liza said, this is Noah. For this week's assignment, I attempted to imitate one of my top 10 photographers, the one and only Dick Avedon. A submission, Richard, by the way, Richard Avedon, Dick Avedon, if you're friends like I am. So, Dick Avedon. My submission is inspired by Avedon's The American West. Avedon spent 6 years from 79 to 84 traveling across America and parts of Canada, photographing subjects with nearly 17,000 sheets of 4x5 film. I know this, which is amazing, and I'm glad that you know this too. Avedon's signature style poses subject against a seamless white background in soft natural light. He actually built a light tent, He built a tent, which was with PVC pipes, literally fabric on all sides, except for the open side where he shot. So he'd have nice white diffused light coming in from the side, white diffused light coming from the top, and white diffused light from the back. So he was able to create these incredible. I'm sure you remember Beekeeper, which is a very famous Dick Avedon photo. Beekeeper, Avedon. All you need to do is type in Beekeeper, and you should see this very powerful image of the beekeeper. That is not the image, but this is the image. So this is Beekeeper by Richard Avedon. These are the photographs that Richard Avedon made in the American Midwest. And this is the book cover from Dick Avedon. This is another Dick Avedon, and you can see it shot on 4x5 sheet film. Another Dick Avedon picture from the American Midwest. This is Richard Avedon right there. One of my favorites. Also, Richard Avedon. Before Photoshop, Richard Avedon was doing things like that. So, Dick Avedon. Famous photographer. So, Liza. So she, prior to photographing, she says, one of my favorite characteristics is how Avedon approached his subjects was capturing their imperfections and awkwardness. Very, very great observation. The way that he captured imperfections and awkwardness. In particular, his subjects' poses and expressions felt off-putting or quirky. Liza is seeing the light. Avedon's subjects are sometimes framed off-center. Prior to photographing Noah, I spent an afternoon searching for white walls and open shade. I take a look at Avedon's incredible inspiring in the American West. Yeah, I just showed you. In the American West. This is pictures from the collection. But I just showed you a bunch. Like I showed you that one, and I showed you Beekeeper. So, okay, so that's, let's see. Shot with the Nikon D850, 85mm ISO 400, f7.1 at 1/200 of a second. Open shade, midday, natural light. Midday? Hopefully it's not top light. Let's have a look at Liza. Hi there, Liza. Thanks for submitting. So the whole idea for me with this was he has to be standing. He's sitting in way too much of a feminine position. even whether he's gay or straight, he still is sitting like he's falling over. And one of the things about Avedon with his photographs of the American Midwest is all the subjects were standing. So if you're going to be doing that analogy and you're going to be using Avedon's American Midwest as your reference, notice that they're always standing. Notice that they're all standing. So now why is your subject sitting? You have to understand there's part of the awkwardness is having a person stand there. That's part of the awkwardness. Now, in you letting your subject sit and give you this cross-legged thing, like now it has like, you've taken away the magic and you're making the picture that he wants you to make rather than the picture that you want him to make. You want to make the picture that you want to make is him standing literally. The picture that you want to make is him standing and going like rubbing his lip, scratching his head, like you just want him like this. What we don't want is him like this. Like what it ends up feeling like is you did all the everything with the light and and you scouted the location, and then you sat him down and you let him do what he wanted in the photo. So for me, that awkwardness, you see, like what you're trying to capture, he has it in his face. Oops. He has it in his face. Over here. He has it here in his face. Oh my goodness. Why are you not letting me do that? So he has it in his face, but we're losing it in his body language. As soon as you look at his body language, you're like, ugh. So that's what we're trying to like, it's up to us. It's our responsibility. The body language is on us. It's not up to our subject. So again, American Midwest, you look at every single one of Avedon's portraits from this as your inspiration, not a single person sitting, not one. And then you let your subject sit. For me, that's why these are so magic. It's because they're standing. That's why it's so magic. So if you want to have a little bit of that oomph, you also have to have your subject standing. It's so important. It's so important. And like we miss that here. So the light quality is gorgeous. I love it. We're losing a little bit of the black here. It's a little bit wishy. Like this is gray. This is gray. Like I watch the shadow highlight because you can see like there's nothing. You're not committing to black. Black isn't black. So watch your shadows because I feel like you're pulling the shadow slider up too far. So watch the shadows. And again, you'll notice like Avedon's pictures are way richer and way more committed. Like black is black. Black is black. Look at that black versus your black. It actually looks underexposed. You see what I'm saying? Like black is black. Be way more committed to not using your shadow slider and pulling your shadows up. Because you see, this is a black t-shirt. We agree, right? It's a black t-shirt. But because there's no adjustments that's happening in this camera. This is just the right exposure, and this is what a black t-shirt looks like. It looks black. So when you move the sliders up, it actually really starts to make black not look black anymore. So I'll say, look at the black here, and then look at my t-shirt. So watch your shadow slider. And again, when we're doing intelligent imitation, I gotta say, having a man sitting with his legs crossed like that for a photo, it's too feminine for you to be capturing. It's just Even if like gay or straight, still shoot him like a man. Do you know what I mean? And that's not a guy sitting like this. It's a guy sitting like this. And if you're imitating an Abaddon picture, he didn't shoot people sitting, not under the American Midwest stuff. So have him standing. And however awkward he is as he's standing, that's the picture. That's the picture that you take. And that is that authentic awkward that you praised Abaddon for, but you missed because you let him sit down. I hope that helps you. That's Liza Hyder. So close, Liza. So close. But for me, you missed like the most important point, which was the standing. All right. So this photo is from a client shoot focused on rebranding headshots. For this inspiration, I drew from Mary Clara Australia's March 2024 issue featuring Julia Roberts. Never heard of her on the cover. So Julia Roberts cover. Let's look at this inspiration. So it's this cover is the idea, but also this is also just that picture in black and white, basically. Same light, same everything. So this is your inspiration. Did you find out which photographer shot this? Who's the photographer? Who's the photographer who shot this cover of Vanity Fair? I mean, Marie Claire for March, whatever. Find out who shot it. It's easy. Open the magazine cover and see who the photographer who shot this is. So you can see more of their work and you can see if they're legit or if they're a hack. They got to see more work. Let's see what Joseph Baldwin has done. Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Baldwin, thanks for submitting. So exposure, off the top, the exposure is way overexposed, Joseph. This is overexposed by almost a full stop. Almost a full stop. I want you to see my skin tone. And then look at that skin tone. You see how much lighter she is? You see how much, like, when you have black skin that's starting to go Caucasian in here and black skin that's starting to go Caucasian in here, and all the trouble that you're having with the color balance here, how this looks like it's a different person, and all the problems that you're having with that's because the whole image is one stop overexposed, a full stop easily. So if you bring this into post, you'll see it's overexposed. Now, pose-wise, you don't see the table in this. You don't see the table in either of this. You don't see the table, but you see the table here. And then it's like, I want you to look at Julia Roberts is doing both hands on this side. Do you know what I mean? And then the other, she's doing this. And then she's holding her wrist like this. Okay? Look at what she's doing. Okay? She is doing this, holding, and this. And also, look where her finger is right at the corner of her mouth. Okay? Slight head angle. Okay? And then the other, she's got both her hands on one side. Okay? Head angle. Head angle. Hey, calligraphy. Just bought gaff tape. T-shirt. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Or did you buy a hoodie? I appreciate you. Thanks, calligraphy. Smoke. Calligraphy buys everything I sell. It's this guy. I appreciate you, my guy. Thanks for picking up the gaff tape hoodie. You're gonna love it. It's dope. Okay. So these details, Joseph, I want you to see. Like this, the hands on both sides. How this hand is not all the way lined up, it's here, and then these fingers are closed over. Like, all of these details is what I look at when I'm looking at a photo. You see the watch? See how the watch is over top of her black sweater. So let's look what she's wearing. Black sweater. And then let's look at this. So for me, here, styling, no. Styling. Like, black, super simple, high neck sweater. Super clean. This one, classic, tailored blazer, Marc Jacobs, Gucci, Calvin Klein. Same tone, skin tone as the background, same skin tone as her tone. This, pink, electric pink. And again, the styling. This is what I say. When someone comes out, I say, oh, we're not shooting that. Do you have something else for us to shoot? We're not shooting that. And guess what else? I would even to the point where, show me what you have to bring to the photo shoot. So then photos, like they're at their place, I'm at my place, and she's like, well, I have this. And I'm like, no, thank you. Oh, I have this. No, thank you. I have this. Okay, that's great. Like basics. Imagine if this was like just a super slim, like this, black mock neck. Simple, super simple. Now I see her. Now, when I'm looking at this, all I see is this. I see pulls here, and it's not, and I see pulls down here. It means this is not a high quality, expensive garment. This is fast fashion, right? And fast fashion, when you use it, it looks like this. It looks like this. So, and also satin or whatever, like if this is like, satin is tacky. Just so you know, it's tacky and hella tacky in photography, really tacky. And I'll say it again so you hear it, Joseph. Satin, super tacky in photography. And again, let's look at your reference. Where's the satin? Where's the satin? So the reason that Julia Roberts is one of those contemporary women that women look up to is because she is an icon for style. She's an icon for fashion. And is this iconic for fashion? No, it is fast fashion. So how you make this woman look so much more iconic, number one, take her hair down. This whole bun looks very, I'm at work. This top looks very fast fashion, work fashion. Very much like that. So mock neck from Indiglo, or like a long sleeve t-shirt, like something that's huggy, that clings to her body, that will show how slim she is. And then the hand under her chin like this. This is not how Julia Roberts posed. That wasn't the reference at all. If you look at the difference versus this, it's not the reference at all. So there's a reason why this is on a cover. Look at the angle of her arm. Look at how it comes inwards, where it brings your face from the corner down here. Where's my mouse? From the corner down here up into here. It's like a sweeping angle that brings you around the face. Look at how she's doing it here, where her head angle is this way, but her hands are at this way. And all these lines bring you back into the face. And when you look here, we can see how she's not owning it. She's playing a role that she thinks you want her to play. She's playing subject and you're playing photographer. This isn't her at all. This isn't authentically her. She is just putting a face on. So like where this is authentically her. You see what I mean? Like it's so different. And Joseph, where you are right now with your career, this nuance is where you live. Where you live. Like we have to really be zeroing in on like what's going on right now. And like fashion wise, man, like you need a stylist. Get someone to help you, or you have to be way more discerning. Like if you watch how I look at clothes. When I'm shooting Holly, it's like four looks, one model. Like that video, she comes out, I'm like, nope, that's awful. Nope, that's like, and it's like, these are the only things that we can shoot because everything else is garbage. Don't shoot stuff that you can't show. Like, because you can't show this outfit. It makes you look like you think that this is top fashion. And then again, we have to look at what working pro photographers are shooting. So if we go to, let's look at Usai. styling. Like they're like styling. Like there's so much styling, but the one thing you're not going to see is pink satin. You're not going to see that anywhere because it's not a thing. So with your portfolio, the clothes everything has to hit. Everything has to hit. Everything, including the clothing. And look, when I show you and you're like, wow, this guy's a fashion photographer. It's like, no, just look at his portraits. Even with the portraits, the clothes hit. Like they're appropriate for what the subject is doing. Understated. When the clothing is understated, you see the subject. When the clothing is not understated at all, that's all you can see. You see the difference? Like, so pink is not something that should be on your list. And again, color. The color is understated, so you see her. Understated. And whenever you see color, understated. I mean, this is radical on Jennifer Garner, but like understated. It has to be. And when it comes to fashion, like even this with these like sequins, it's still silver sequins, so it's neutral. It's not a color. Telling you, man, like the fashion sensibility, the styling is what, look at her boots, bro. The styling is what makes this work. The styling. And again, the radical colors, it's just not a thing. It's not a thing. And with fashion, you have to understand you're a photographer. So you have to have a really discerning eye as far as what you shoot and what is like, no, we're not shooting that. And you've seen me. I'm like, no, we're not shooting that. You know, and then therefore, when you're looking at your portfolio, you're not going through your book saying, ugh, like with outfits. And if you look at it's like, it's the same thing. Like the outfits are appropriate. So you see the subject before you see the outfit. You see the subject before you see the outfit. And there's no like radical, like this is about as radical as I've gone with, and this is for Nike. This is Nike tights and a Nike bandeau. But like the color, the radical color, again, this is about as radical as I get. The jacket, red shoes. Back in the day when people used to do that. But most of it's understated. Like it's so important. It's understated. And if it's bold, then it's offset. And even then, pink is just, it's such a color that just makes you think of Barbie. And don't get me wrong, I love pink. I use it all the time, but I use it differently. I use it this way. Use it this way instead of using it like in an outfit. Yeah, color, I use it this way instead of on an outfit. Yeah, I hope that helps you, my guy. And again, this outfit, I hated this so much. Hated it, and still hate it to this day. But again, celebrity, this is what she wanted to wear. But would you pick this to wear? Like that super busy patterned thing? It's hard. But like when I have a choice, I'm not picking this as a shirt. When I have a choice to pick what we're shooting, I'm not picking that. I mean, my choice when I shot Cardinal was white on white, which we shot first, and then he wanted to shoot something else. So, I mean, this was my outfit choice here, obviously, right? But that was the secondary outfit. So I'm always into neutrals. And for you, Joseph, make sure you're really nailing your exposure, because I really feel like the exposure is really off on this one. You can see cover composition, like you have this stiff stuff down, like this stuff you have down, but now exposure you missed on this one. I just really want you to not entrust anything to anyone else. Like, you have to have your eyes on everything, and basics are your friend. Basics. That's what I say. Like, what should I wear? I'll say basics. What does that mean? It means like wife beater, like tank top, wife beater, like from the dollar store, you get 3 for $1. Bring those. Buy a pack of those. And like your favorite jeans, bring those. And like your boyfriend's oversized hoodie that you wear. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I want, like, to shoot, you know? And you put the girl just in the hoodie, and it like goes like just below because it's her boyfriend's hoodie and it's oversized and it's like real. You know what I mean? Like, where when models are when subjects are trying to be something, most of the time they miss. It's hard. Fashion with people, they either get it or they don't. And for the people who don't get fashion, it's up to us to literally teach them. It's up to us. And again, you can see I'm a man who's 50, who has 54, but I have a little bit of style. And again, I'm trying to help you guys to have with style as well, because it's our job. Guys, those are our photos of the day. Joseph Baldwin being the last one. So let's talk about photos of the week. And see if there is a best in show today. Photos of the week. Yep. I'm going to give that one. I'm going to give one there. Sorry to say, there's quite a few misses. So, photos of the week. Yes, I have a couple. Starting with this photographer right here. Our first photo of the week goes to Monica Petrovsky. Monica, that's a photo of the week. Congratulations. That is a very good, intelligently imitated photo with a great reference. You nailed the assignment. You nailed it, Monica. You killed it. You made me happy. Thank you for showing me that photo. Next, photo of the week winner.
Yes or yes?
Intelligent imitation goes to, you know him as Anton Duris. Photo of the week, Anton. Congratulations. Photo of the week. Intelligent imitation. Congratulations. And is there another? Guys, I'm being hard on you this week because it's necessary. That is what I saw. I'm going to give the whole idea is intelligent imitation, and there was the misses were too wide for me to be able to sing praises. It's okay, because you guys have till next week. I mean, you can try it again. For next week's assignment, which I'm going to get into in a second. So we're going to leave it there. Photo of the week number 1, Monica P. Photo of the week number 2 is and was Mr. Anton Duris. So those two are my preferences this week, starting with Monica. Again, Monica, congratulations, photo of the week. And the one and only Anton Duris with this Coca-Cola picture. Everybody else, I think you guys know why you missed the mark. I was pretty detailed in my reviews. But let's talk about next week. Let's talk about your assignment for next week, which is prove your niche. I want you to prove your niche. And the whole idea in week 7, which is next week, is I want you to prove your niche. So I want to see a photo that pretend I've never seen your photos before. Okay, pretend this is for someone who's never seen your photos before. With one photo, I want you to prove your niche. With one photo, I would like you to tell me your niche immediately in this one photo. That means if you're a portrait photographer, an editorial portrait photographer, a fashion shooter, a product shooter, if you shoot cars, from this one photo, I'm gonna know exactly what you shoot. Okay, now it's important that you include your Instagram or your website, because when I see this photo, I'm going to look at your website and your Instagram to see if you're proving your niche, or if you're just a one-trick pony. You just showed me one picture, but when I look at your website, there's nothing like that. I want to see the one thing that proves your niche. And when I look at your website or your Instagram, I'm like, oh, of course. That's how it should fit. It should not feel like something random. If you're brand new or new to this, and you're establishing a new niche, when I go to your Instagram, I should see nothing. You should take all your photos off, for sure. I'm not lying. And when I go to your website, you should have no website, because you don't have any work yet, because you're building it. So proving your niche, especially if you're shifting niches from one to the other, everybody uses Instagram like a scrapbook of everything that they've ever shot ever. And pros curate and edit their Instagram, which is only work that's going to get them work. So prove your niche. When I go to your Instagram, if I see a whole bunch of shit, you fail the assignment. And when I go to your Instagram and I see a whole bunch of stuff which is exactly like what you showed me, that's it. So prove your niche. Show me a photo that will immediately tell me your niche. Include your Instagram and website. And the key to success in this assignment lies in creating an image that serves as an instant signature portfolio piece, making your specialization immediately clear to viewers, okay? So if you're a portrait shooter or a people photographer, create a signature portrait that instantly reveals your specialization, your style. You shoot sports, you shoot weddings, you shoot corporate. Like, what is that picture that totally tells me your specialty? And show your unique approach to capturing that type of subject. Show me your style, show me your light, and include elements that are unmistakably associated with your niche. Those are just ideas that you can do for people. If you shoot places, capture a location that exemplifies your specialized focus. If you're a real estate shooter, if you shoot landscape, if you shoot architecture, demonstrate your distinct profession in your chosen environment. Like, show me what you can do with your places photography, and include a signature element that defines your style within your niche. And again, places does not mean I do street photography. Places means I shoot real estate, I shoot architecture. And again, if you're shooting landscapes, fun times, but no one's gonna pay you to do that. So if you're shooting places, again, I'm hardest on the places photography because it's a cop-out. It's a cop-out. You're not gonna make a nickel shooting places you've been, unless you are doing it at an incredibly high level with an editorial lifestyle angle. So use this as an assignment to practice that. Demonstrate your distinct perspective on your chosen environment and include signature elements that define your style within your niche. Now, things. If you shoot things, I want you to showcase products in a way that immediately identify your specialty. Maybe you shoot food, maybe you shoot jewelry, maybe you shoot cars. Display your unique approach to how you present your products, and include styling elements that specify your specific category. So that is your assignment, where I'm asking you to prove your niche. Prove your niche. Super simple. For me, I'm an editorial portrait photographer. I shoot editorial portraits. When you look at my website, you will see unequivocally that I shoot editorial portraits. You can see, this is what I shoot. I shoot editorial portraits. And when you look at my Instagram, you'll see also that I shoot editorial portraits, because my Instagram is more editorial portraits. Like, that's what I shoot. So you're going to see editorial portraits, and you're going to see editorial portraits. And you'll also see me, because sometimes I'm in my Instagram. But yes, you are going to see the editorial portraits that I make. Like, that's what you're in. And also, by the way, it doesn't matter how far you scroll. Guess what? I promise, it doesn't matter how far you scroll. guess what? You're still going to see editorial portraits. You're not going to see that period when I was shooting landscapes. You're not going to see my wedding phase. Like, you're only going, hey, if you want to see what I looked like when I had dreadlocks, just in case, I'm not lying when I talk about the fact that I used to have dreads. So just in case, you want to see, what I looked like when I was in grade 6, you can, yeah. So Instagram is supposed to show what it is that you do. Don Cherry, Ron McLean, Hockey Day in Canada. So you notice I'm still scrolling. I'm still Tony Bennett. Yes, Tony Bennett, the late Tony Bennett. So you're going to see me shooting in Italy. But by the way, I'm still scrolling. And guess what? You're still seeing editorial portraits. Hey, O'Shea, thanks for subscribing. What you're going to still see? Editorial portraits. But I'm still scrolling. Guess you're still going to see editorial portraits. But I'm still scrolling. Guess what? Editorial portraits. Right from the beginning. And so you can scroll me. You can scroll me. I don't mind. Because I know that whether you're looking here or whether you're looking on my website, you're going to find my work. And it's going to be dope work. And it's going to be work that still holds up, that you're going to be able to look at for as long as you feel like looking at it. So proving your niche. Now, if I handed in this picture, which is some of my personal work, well, this would be confusing, I think. This would be confusing. But every once in a while, it's important to include personal work. It's important. So, yes, it's important to show. Vogue Singapore. So, guys, that is your assignment. I hope that gives you a nice brief. And also, lastly, we do something we call a workshop. It's like a portfolio workshop. If you want me to look at your website, if you want to hang out with me, if you want to talk, ask questions about anything, then you got to hang out with us in Zoom. And you can only do that if you're inside Portfolio Lab. That's the only way you can get access to this link. So join Portfolio Lab. It's super easy to do. Just go to thecardymethod.com. I'm going to possibly live stream Portfolio workshop today. So if you guys want to hang out with me, you might get a chance to ask me questions live in this format. It's 2:45. We're going to start Portfolio. We're going to start this at 3 o'clock. We had a bit of a long show today, but we're going to start in 15-ish minutes is when I'll be in. And I'll go live maybe a quarter after. But guys, I love you. Thanks for watching. Hope today brought you value.
This commercial-free live stream was brought to you by the members of this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network. If you're an emerging or struggling photographer that's trying to break free from your current 9-to-5 grind and transition to the life of a working pro photographer, that's our obsession here at the Carty Method. Register, get the support you need. If you're alone and struggling at this craft, make sure you join the Carty Method community. You'll always find help in the show notes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.